Hey everybody, this is Ethan with Van Rare Knives. Today we're going to be doing our first YouTube video, and just brought you out here, a little bit of the woods behind my house here. And we're going to be talking about some of our wilderness knives, or what we would call our Wanderer series knives. So that's all the knives that we would carry probably on a daily basis for utility stuff. We're going to be talking about those, showing you a little bit of the features about them, and just kind of talking to you a little bit about how our company started and how we got to where we're at. Thanks for joining us, guys. So the first knife I want to talk to you about today is the Odin. This is my favorite knife. It's not our most popular, but it is my favorite. The Odin started as a design that me and my brother kind of made. The first version of this knife was actually about 2 inches wide, where this is about an inch. At this widest point is about 1.5 inches. So when we first started, we kind of designed something together, and then I took that design and really changed it up a lot, made it thinner, lighter, and faster. I liked the first design a lot. It was really cool. It was kind of something we were just messing around with and made, and I wanted to take it and make it a little bit better. So we came up with this. This is made out of 1095 steel. The reason we use 1095 is a very tough steel, but the benefit to beginners with this knife, especially with the 1095, is that 1095 is very easy to resharpen. And so if you dull your edge, it's not that big a deal. You at home can sharpen it right back up, a couple swipes on a stone, and you're back to good. So this knife, you can actually see it in our logo, is my favorite. I love everything about this. One of the reasons that we've decided to go with the straight edge blades is, one, you really have more of a cutting edge here. If you're working, say you're working with a stick, you have a lot more edge to really work on. The other thing is that you really can kind of control that tip a lot better, where on a curved blade, that tip is going to be up and you're going to have to really finagle with it. So with a straight edge blade, you're going to get the benefit of really just being able to control the tip, control the edge. One of the reasons we have this little the jimping right here is so that you can really get a good grip on the blade, and you can really control that blade as well as you want to. A lot of times I will also work on the back of the blade as well, just to kind of get a little bit extra control on it. So that is our Odin. It's one of the reasons I love it. It's a very good, very sturdy blade. It is high carbon, so it does rust, so you really got to take care of these. If you get them wet, you want to oil them and get them back to 100%. Don't put them in your sheaths wet. That will corrode the steel. It's easy to fix if you do corrode the steel for some reason, but you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So this is a very good outdoor blade. It's good to carry with you everywhere you got a lot of cutting surface, a lot of uses. We also designed the blade to where it fits your hand perfectly here if you needed to some reason use it as a reverse edge blade. So there is a lot of benefit to this blade. It's big. It is our outside the waistband carry knife. Most of our other knives come inside the waistband. This one is just so big, we decided to put it on outside the waistband, easy to carry with you on hikes. And so we hope that you guys will do some research on the Odin, and maybe you'll pick one up. Lioness Tactics Lioness. This knife comes in at 7 3/4 inches overall length. You might be wondering about why the design is the way that it is, why it kind of has a tactical handle with a sheep's foot style blade. Well, that was very intentional. After talking to Renee from Lioness Tactics and partnering up with her, I really wanted to design a blade for her that could do it all. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, well, you don't really want a blade that can do everything, and I agree for the most part. But when I was thinking about what a lioness is and what they do, they literally do everything for the group. And so I wanted to make a knife that literally can do everything. It may not do everything the best that it can, but it is a very good knife and very great to use in any circumstance. It's a sheep's foot style design, so it's got a slight sweep up with a very robust style blade at less than 1 inch wide, so it's not very big, but you have a tactical style handle here, so when you lock in, it's really good, feels really good in your hand. The other thing you might be asking about is, what is this little hole right here? Well, this is a finger well up on the front of the blade, so if you're carving or whatever you're doing, you really can get a good grip up on this knife and use it however you need to use it. If you need to fight it, with this. You can use it here, you can use it here, or you can use it here, whittling, whatever you want to do. Maybe you're fire sticking and you really need to get up close and personal with the stick. This is a great way to use it. So we designed this knife with the idea in mind of a knife that can do everything. So here it is, the Lioness Tactics. Hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of these coming around. I know you'll be seeing some videos in the near future. So that is the next knife that we have, the Lioness Tactics. Next knife that we have in our Wanderer series is by far one of the most popular knives we sell, and I think it's because it really is a blend of what you would use for a utility knife, but has a lot of great features to it. That is the Ragnarok. The Ragnarok comes in at 7.5 inches. It is also 1095 steel. It's got a 3.5 inch blade with a 4-inch handle. And we use black G10 on pretty much all of our knives. We do that for our branding purposes. We want you to know what our knives look like, why we do them the way that we do. Underneath this G10 handle here, you're gonna have a skeletonized tang. What that's gonna do is really lighten this knife up. So even though it's 3/16 inch steel, it's really gonna be a light, fast knife. This blade has all the same features as what you would see on our Odin. Or our Odin S. It's got that straight edge blade that you really can just use for anything, control over the tip, whatever you want to do. This knife can do it all, but it also is a very good tactical blade. I would carry this in a self-defense situation any day of the week. It's also designed like the Odin, so if for some reason you did need to grab it, use it in a reverse edge situation, you have that feature as well. The handle was designed basically off of a dagger. It kind of gives you this feeling where you can grab it this way and it worked fine, or you can grab it this way and it would work fine. However you need to use this knife, it's really going to fit your hand, and the sculpting on the handles is made for your fingers. I designed these so that your fingers really fit in those grooves when you put your hand in it. The Ragnarok is a very tiny blade. It's very great to carry every day, pretty much my everyday carry knife. And it is a wonderful tool that I have. I use it for not only in the wilderness, but for work, things like that. So if you want a good blade that you can carry for any reason, the Ragnarok is it. It comes in at $200, and this thing is beautiful. So go over to our website, check these out. You're gonna wanna get more information about these for sure. Hey guys, we're down in the shop. Wanted to take this time just to give you a little history of Van Rare Knives, how we got started, why we started. In 2011, me and my wife got married, and I started my adult career working as a detention officer for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It wasn't long after that we moved to Georgia, and several years after that, we ended up moving back to North Carolina, where I became a bail enforcement officer and a bail bondsman in North Carolina in 2019, and did that for 2 years. Those two things really culminated and started my love for guns mostly, but while I was working as a bail enforcement officer, I wanted a knife just in case I got myself in a pinch. And my dad had started making knives because he was tired of paying $700 for the knives that he was buying. So we started making knives together. From there, it's history. I started making my own, and officially this year we launched as Van Rare Knives. We were originally Northern Breed Knives and just changed our name and logo. Just because we wanted to be who we felt like better represented us. Van Rare means wanderer, and so we decided to name ourselves Van Rare Knives because we have moved so much. Me and my wife met in Tennessee. We lived in North Carolina for a while, Georgia for about 6 years, back to North Carolina, and now we live in Alaska. So we felt like Van Rare really fit who we were, just as travelers, but it also culminates to who we are and the style of knives that we make. Our favorite knife for the company is called the Odin. Odin was also called the Wanderer. So it fits that our company name, the style of knives that we make, and who we are as people all fit together to make the name Van Rare Knives.